I don't know who needs to hear this, but you didn't go through all of that for no reason. It was meant to happen to you to become the person you are today. And always be grateful that you had the opportunity to change. You know, you had the opportunity to change, to become a different person through all the adversity you went through. You didn't just become the person you are today by just waking up, by just simply existing. You chose to jump right in with fear, jump right in when it was hard to do. You jumped right in when it was hard. And be grateful and thankful that you had the bravery to do that. You had the courage to jump right in when it was so uncertain, you know? I don't know who you really are. I don't know what you're dealing with. I don't know your certain scenario. But I do know that I can be proud for a stranger like you right now. For going out of your comfort zone. For choosing to be different than everybody else. You know, just deciding to take that extra step. You wanted to risk everything. Risk it for the biscuit. That's what you chose to do. So why are you comparing yourself to who you are going to be? And not comparing yourself to who you used to be? The person you used to be is honestly so many levels down. So many levels before where you are right now. It's hard to step out of your comfort zone. But it was all meant to happen. It was all written down for you to become better. It was written down before you were born, before anything was created. It was all written down. Your name, your partner, your adversities, your problems, your thinking. It was all written down before you even knew anything, before anybody knew anything. It was all written down by who? By God. By Allah. You cannot say that every single thing you've ever done and every single circumstance of life was created by science. No, it simply cannot be created by science. It's created by our one and only Creator. Don't think that every single circumstance you've done isn't in His will. Because everything is in His will. If He doesn't want you to go through those adversities, then He wouldn't put you in that battle. Because God only throws His strongest soldiers to the toughest battles. So you've got to just inhale that pain and take it as glory. Take it as honor. Take it with honor. Because He chose you. You are a chosen one in God's name. And don't forget that. When you are chosen by Him, you are going through the hardest of adversities, the hardships, the pain. It's meant to happen to shape you to become what you need to be. Think about this. If you didn't go through that, would you be the person you are today? Would you be as wise? Would you have as much discernment? No, you wouldn't. Would you be as hardworking as you are today if you didn't go through that tribulation? No, you wouldn't. So remember, everything that's ever happened was meant to happen to shape you to becoming that person that you need to be. And right now in this moment, you may or may not feel like you've elevated. You may or may not have felt like you've improved, become better. But something is brewing, all right? Something is cooking in that background. Because you, although you may not see it, you are becoming better. You are progressing. You are stepping closer to that waterfall. That imaginary life that you've always tried to see. Some people think it's just a dream. It's something that's really far away. But for us, it's a mission. It's something we're obligated to do. We're here on this planet for that one reason. Maybe It could be 2 reasons, or 3, or more. But don't think that everything that's happened was meant to target you. Like, how are we going to blame God? How are we going to blame the universe for what's happened to us when we had no control, you know? It's so easy to blame the outside creation. So easy to blame our God or the universe or whatever you believe in, right? It's so easy to blame that thing. But you didn't go through all of that for no reason. There's a reason behind it. The reason was to teach you. The reason was to make you a stronger person, emotionally, physically, and mentally. Your heart wasn't as strong. And that adversity, that thing you went through, that storm, made you stronger. Your heart became a rock. Now when people try and throw pebbles at you, you're a rock too. It doesn't affect you anymore. You know, you're not a soft leaf, a soft tree. You're a rock. It doesn't hurt you anymore. Sometimes some people are only meant to be in a chapter of our lives. Some people are only meant to be lessons. They're not meant to stay. Not every person, not every circumstance, not every thing that we like to do is gonna stay forever. We're gonna eventually grow old. We're gonna eventually grow old of people's actions. And then they're just gonna teach us something. People are lessons in some cases. Unless it's your family, obviously. But your family could be a lesson too. They could teach you what it feels like to be alone, you know? Even though your parents are present, even though your relatives are present, doesn't mean they're present, you know what I mean? Just because they're there doesn't mean they're present. That's a better way to say it. Everything that's happened was there for a reason. You're going to look back at this moment. You're going to look back at this tribulation, this hurdle in time. And you're going to say, dang, this really taught me so much. This really taught me how to be a kind person, a better person. This really taught me that I can be good alone. That I can live life alone. Or it could teach you many more things. It's every case-to-case scenario. Not everyone's journey is going to be the same. Not everyone's tribulation is going to be the same. So whatever you went through, it was there to stay. It was written in your timeline of your life. And be grateful for it. Because sooner or later, we're going to say, I thank God that I went through that. Because if I didn't, I guess we'll never know. A quote from Kanye, I guess we'll never know. What happened if I didn't go through that? If I didn't go through that, maybe I would have been so weak that when something else hurt me, I would have fell really badly. So be grateful, be thankful for every single scenario, every single result. One thing I can remember is one example is that imagine you're supposed to go on a flight. You've been thinking about a flight, thinking about a destination where you want to go to, like a vacation. Say you're going to Japan. You've been thinking about this vacation for a really long time. You're like, I want to have fun. I want to eat Japanese food. I want to see all the events, the festivities. And then you book your flight on January 15th. Say that for example. But then something happens. Your flight gets canceled. And then maybe, obviously, you're going to think inside, dang, why did it get canceled now? I've been waiting for this trip for like the past 6 months, man. But then you never know what's going to happen if you did go on that flight. If you really went on the flight, what would happen? What if the flight didn't land? What if the flight got lost? What if you got hurt or something? You know, sometimes God redirects us. Sometimes God protects us from things that we cannot hear, we cannot see. So don't ever think that those tribulations and those minor problems are setting us back, because sometimes it could be God's protection. That's a good example. That's all I have today, guys. Hope something helped y'all. Stoic Tang here. Peace out.